This is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Here now are the top Disney park stories from around the world for February 28th, 2022. According to the Orlando Sentinel, Disney has donated money to every sponsor of the new Don't Say Gay bill. This bill, called the Parental Rights in Education Bill, but most famously known as the Don't Say Gay bill, was passed by the Florida's House of Representatives on Thursday. It will prohibit, quote, classroom discussion about sexual orientation or gender identity in the state's primary schools. It is heading to the state's Republican-held Senate, where it is expected to pass. And Disney, on the other hand, has always seemed to be pro-LGBTQ. Rainbow merchandise, of course, sold every year during Gay Days, which originally they used to not mention Gay Days. Now it is pretty much an official event at this point. And Disney even went as far as to make a fifth key called inclusion. These keys are the foundation for cast members' approach to service. Despite all of this, Disney donated money to every single sponsor and co-sponsor of the Don't Say Gay bill. Quote, the Senate sponsor, Ocala Republican Dennis Baxley, has backed anti-gay legislation for years, including laws to prevent gay couples from adopting kids who otherwise wouldn't have a family at all. Baxley once compared kids who live with same-sex parents to kids raised by alcoholics and abusers, and later said, quote, I'm not phobic, but I simply can't affirm homosexuality. The very next year, Disney cut Baxley a campaign check, and another after that, and yet another last year. So the parks put out the rainbow Mickeys during Gay Days while also cutting checks to the politicians hell-bent on dehumanizing those same park guests. That, of course, from the Orlando Sentinel piece. It turns out, you know, we preach a lot of this on this show. Disney is a mega corporation, and mega corporations are only really ever interested in whatever's going to benefit them, right? And they'll play both sides of the fence. And that's what Disney does, right? And I'm not saying there are certainly people within the Disney company who do care about that inclusion, that fifth key, and, you know, having a workplace and a place for guests that is welcoming of everyone. Those people are probably not at the top. They're probably somewhere in the middle. But it is worth noting again that, you know, they don't always practice what they preach in the Walt Disney Company. A new castle show, Mickey's Magical Friendship Faire, new of sorts, has debuted at the Magic Kingdom. There's been no regular castle stage show since Walt Disney World closed in March of 2020 due to COVID. But Mickey's Magical Friendship Faire is an updated version of Mickey's Royal Friendship Faire in honor of the 50th anniversary of the park. Guests packed into the hub before the first show. Decorations for the show were added to the stage, and blue and purple banners with flower baskets were added to the railings, and an M emblem was atop the wooden doors at the back of the stage. The characters enter through there. Mickey and his friends enter at the top of the show and sing the new theme song, Where Magic Feels Like Home. So no more On This Day, thankfully. God, that song drove me insane. Each member of the gang introduces a different group of friends. Of course, this part is kind of all recycled. We have Goofy bringing Tiana, Naveen, and Louis. We have Donald bringing the ruffians from the Enchanted Forest, along with the other Tangled characters. We have the Frozen segment where Olaf, Anna, and Elsa show up, and then, of course, the big finale with the new song. You can watch the full show right here on our YouTube channel. Yes, it's only kind of a new show. They changed one musical number, and the rest is kind of the same. Some costume changes at that. The shiny new amethyst mini ear headband has arrived at Walt Disney World. The headband and bow are a lighter purple than the ears, which are covered in reflective sequins. The sequins have shell-like lines, and we found this pair at the Emporium in the Magic Kingdom for $29.99. A couple of new candles have arrived at Walt Disney World, one inspired by the Haunted Mansion and another by Stitch. The Haunted Mansion candle holder is made to resemble a circle of graves from the classic attraction with a green lid. The Haunted Mansion logo is also on the lid, and Madame Leota's headstone is on one side. Another headstone reads, R.I.P. Mr. Sewell, the victim of a dirty duel. The scent is Happy Haunts, and it smells pretty generic to us, but I mean, who doesn't want a Haunted Mansion candle holder? We also found the Stitch candle in Star Traders. The bottom of the candle holder is shaped like a pineapple, and it is white with gold touches, and the lid is shaped like Stitch's head. He has the top of a pineapple as a hat, with the leaves, his eyelids, and his nose painted gold. This tropical pineapple was our favorite scent. It didn't smell too much like pineapple, more like pineapple vanilla. Found both candles at the Magic Kingdom. They're $34.99 each. Green construction walls have curiously been erected about halfway down the walkway connecting the Grand Floridian to the Magic Kingdom. The walls are green in an attempt to blend with the trees behind them. It's go-away green. There's a black tarp covering one of the walls on one side, and we took a ride on the monorail to see what was going on behind there. It looks like the walls are covering a staging area for materials, and a close-up shows that these could be shingles for the re-roofing of the Grand Floridian nearby. There are also a couple of construction vehicles, portable restrooms, and more materials behind the walls. The newest addition to the Walt Disney World Vault Collection are these pair of Crocs. Unlike the Magic Kingdom map Crocs, the Crocs are pretty plain. They're all white. They come with multiple gibbets, though, featuring retro 1970s Walt Disney World icons. The charms include a Walt Disney World pennant, the state of Florida, a license plate that says October 71, when Walt Disney World opened, and more. And on the right side, one of the Crocs is a retro Walt Disney World logo with opening October 1971 underneath it. You can purchase these. They're all over property at this point. They're $69.99. Q signs have been installed at the entrance of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind in Epcot. We saw the signs installed on either side of the entrance a few days ago, but these new signs hang from the top of the greeter structure. They'll indicate the standby queue, the lightning lane, and the single rider if that will be an option. The first sign was installed on the right side of the greeter structure, and another was sitting nearby on a truck bed waiting for installation. Both were covered in tarps. When we rode by on the monorail again a little later, both signs had been installed and uncovered. There are blank spots on the signs to indicate which queue it's going to be, the current time for lightning lane reference, and the wait time. The signs on the ground, on the other hand, are now covered in black tarps. These will show warnings and height requirements. Meanwhile, the Xandarian Star Blaster stand has seemingly been completed and is now surrounded by orange cones. Just the other day, the new United Kingdom floral collection debuted at Epcot, and we found a couple more of the new items from the collection on our most recent visit. We found a zip-up jacket, tees, and an ornament. You can check them all out on our website. The next series of Disney Parks Wishables will be themed to the attraction Muppetvision 3D at Disney's Hollywood Studios, also formerly of Disney California Adventure. The series includes Miss Piggy, Sam Eagle, Fozzie Bear, and Gonzo. We assume Kermit will be the out-of-bag, non-mystery one, but that hasn't been announced yet. They'll be available on Shop Disney this Wednesday, March 2nd. We don't know when they're in the parks because, honestly, we're still waiting on the Remy's Ratatouille Adventure series here in Florida. They're out in California. They haven't made it here. So who knows when the Muppets will show up? We'll have to wait and see. The force is strong at Dok-Andar's Den of Antiquities as the legendary dealer has his hands on a new limited edition lightsaber hilt from the Jedi Temple Guard. It's so limited edition, in fact, that we had to enter a virtual queue just to buy it, and blades are sold separately. The double-sided lightsaber hilt makes this quite a bit more sizable than many of the other options at the Den. Cast members would not allow the hilt to be removed from the case for pictures, and even the cast members themselves were prohibited from handling them outside of transactions. The metal lightsaber hilt features yellow tips on the right and blue accents on the back with a gold finish along the hilts. The center grip, which joins the two pieces together, is silver colored, and just like its twin, the other side also features a gold finish with a mustard yellow tip near where the blade would be. A red button on either side activates the lightsaber blades, which are sold separately, of course. Lightsaber blades are an additional $25 each for a 24-inch blade, $50 each for a 31 or 36-inch blade. The limited edition Jedi Temple Guard hilt is very limited with a total edition size of 3,000. Supposedly only 1,000 of these here, 1,000 at Disneyland, and 1,000 on Shop Disney. They should be gone pretty quickly. Personally, we didn't buy this one because I didn't want to own it. I don't know, I'm not a big Jedi Temple Guard fan. It's not my thing. So, but you can see from the pictures what it looks like. If you've got to get yours, you know where to go. Out of the Wild, the gift shop at Rafiki's Planet Watch in Animal Kingdom has permanently closed, and the space that once held the outdoor shop has seating and vending machines now. The shop's curtains remain rolled up to the ceiling. Colorful benches, stools, and tables have been moved into the area, and the panels along the back wall cover the old display shelves. There's a drink machine and a snack machine. There's also a souvenir ID tag machine and a pressed penny machine. The entire area is shaded, offering a nice spot for guests to rest. And this is the second new seating area added to Animal Kingdom recently. Of course, Primeval Whirl, some of that attraction space was recently turned into a picnic table space as well. Dr. Mark Penning shared in an Instagram post that the gray kangaroos are back at Animal Kingdom. The kangaroos pictured are Millie and her Joey Buckeye. They came to Disney's Animal Kingdom from another accredited institution as part of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums Species Survival Plan. Quote, by working with the SSP, Penning wrote, we are able to learn more about gray kangaroos and help keep the population in managed care healthy and genetically diverse. Buckeye, Millie, and more gray kangaroos called a mob can be seen on Discovery Island. You'll also find a mob every time something that eBay resellers can flip is released. There'll be a mob there. Different kind of mob. Local Green Atlanta, a healthy fast casual restaurant, will be opening a location at Disney Springs in March. Disney Springs shared the news on Twitter. An exact opening date was not announced, but the About Us section of the Local Green Atlanta website says, quote, Local Green Atlanta is a fast casual restaurant whose mission is to redefine healthy, affordable food for all by creating an ecosystem based on trust and accountability. We provide you with a culinary experience focused on your health that tastes good and helps you feel good while giving you a cultural experience that binds us as a community. We are more than a healthy, fast casual food provider. We're a public health initiative that intends to reduce food deserts in the United States. Our mission is to reduce health disparities in underserved populations by providing healthier food choices to communities who need it most. The food we make caters to an urban palate. We assure you taste is not compromised for health. A new resort-themed mini ear headband has arrived at Walt Disney World at the Art of Animation Resort. It's also Loungefly branded, and it even changes colors in the sun. The headband is a magenta pink color. The bow is also magenta pink with glitter, and the logo from the Art of Animation Resort is in the middle of the bow. The ears are white, and on one ear you can see our friends Nemo, Dory, and Sebastian surrounded by seashells and leaves. On the other side we find Simba, Crush, and Ariel, and there are even more characters on the back, including Timon, Rafiki. Rafiki's holding Cub Simba, by the way. Pumbaa, Flounder, and Hank from Finding Dory. You can find these new ears at Art of Animation for $39.99. Where are the cars at? You know, there's cars at this hotel, folks. Where are my cars at? Starting March 3rd, maintenance work will take place on the dock of the Disney's Grand Floridian Resort. As a result, boat service to and from the Magic Kingdom will be interrupted. Specifically, boats will be unavailable from 11:45 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. daily. The work is expected to last a week, but a specific ending date has not yet been provided. A major refurbishment of the Disney Village at Disneyland Paris is set to finally begin this year, 4 years after it was first announced. This is reported by Outside Ears. Work will begin as soon as September 2022 on Cafe Mickey. The rest of the renovation will take place in phases over the next 5 or 6 years, so Disney Village can remain open during construction. In concept art, we can see a new McDonald's, water features, new architecture, and a Hard Rock Cafe. The elevation shows the architectural plan for the block, beginning with the Nets Diner. This is an exciting plan. Obviously, there are very limited dining places to dine at Disneyland Paris in general, so it is absolutely imperative that they do this while trying to keep Disney Village open as well. So if you're wondering why 5 or 6 years seems like a very long time, well, it does need to be a phased project. Disneyland Paris cast members have selected their new name tag design in honor of the resort's 30th anniversary. We got a look at these golden tags earlier this month, but Disneyland Paris has now shared a video of the step-by-step process of creating them. You can watch the TikTok video on our website. Step 1 is cutting, step 2 is creating impressions, and the third step is engraving. The end result is a golden name tag with white stars and lines around the edge. The cast members' name, Disneyland Paris, and the 30th anniversary logo are in blue lettering. Of course, all the festivities begin March 6th. Continuing their ever-growing ensemble of creative light-up popcorn buckets, which span themes from Frozen to Duffy and Friends, and nearly coinciding with the grand opening of the new Toy Story Hotel on April 5th, which we will be at, Tokyo Disney Resort will release a new Toy Story-themed popcorn bucket on March 31st. The bucket is made of unevenly stacked film reels featuring screen grabs from all 4 Toy Story films. The bucket lights up to highlight some of these iconic moments, from Woody and Buzz falling with style in the original all the way to the confrontation with the creepy Bensons in the 4th installment. Woody sits atop the canisters, which are lined with little green man silhouettes, and the sky blue strap features some of the series' iconic clouds from Andy's room and lines of the green army men. This new bucket again goes on sale March 31st for 3,200 yen at the Lido Isle Popcorn Cart in Disney Sea, and as well the Gazebo Popcorn Cart at Tokyo Disneyland. Tokyo Disney Resort commemorated their 800th millionth guest to visit Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea since the first park opened on April 15, 1983. Unlike previous reveals, the lucky guest was not part of the photo op, and details were not released about who they were, which park they visited, or any of those things. Pictured in the photo are, of course, Mickey and Minnie alongside Oriental Land Company President and COO Kenji Yoshida, Tokyo Disney Resort Ambassador Mika Ogasawara, and Walt Disney Attraction Japan President George Gross. Due to the effects of the COVID pandemic, this is the longest stretch between the 100 million guests visiting since 2002 to 2006. Tokyo Disney Resort celebrated 700 million guests on July 31st, 2017, and 600 million guests on April 12th, 2014. Disney's Easter 2022 is almost here, and Tokyo Disneyland is planning to release plenty of new merchandise themed to the mischievous Usatama bunny eggs, along with a smattering of food and the return of the Usatama on the Run parade. You can find a full list of everything coming this year over on our website. Catch them all. Work will soon begin on Disney Cruise Line's second port in the Bahamas, Lighthouse Point. Disney has finally received government approval to begin construction on this $400 million project. Now that Disney Cruise Line has acquired all the necessary permits, hiring of construction workers will begin. A job fair will tentatively be held on March 5th, 2022 at the Ulathera Business Hub, as the expected number of construction workers needed has doubled. In a Disney Cruise Line newsletter, Thomas Maslam, the president of Disney Cruise Line, said, quote, "We're so grateful for the support we've received from the people and government of the Bahamas over the past few years. It is because of your engagement and feedback that we have continued to shape the project into something we can call, something we can all be proud of. I am pleased to share that we now have received the necessary approvals from the government of the Bahamas to begin our work at Lighthouse Point. And as we get started, we remain committed to our guiding principles, creating sustainable economic opportunities for Bahamians, protecting and sustaining the natural beauty of the site, celebrating Bahamian culture, and helping to strengthen the community in Ulathera. We are excited to move this important work forward with you, and will continue to keep you updated on our progress and how you can get involved." The new Haunted Mansion movie will be arriving in theaters in 2023, according to Deadline. The theatrical release is set for March 10th, 2023 specifically. Any digital release information is unknown at this time, but it will likely be delayed at least 45 days after the movie hits theaters. The new movie will focus on the classic Magic Kingdom and Disneyland attraction and will likely have no connection to the previous film starring Eddie Murphy. Live-action Aladdin producers Dan Lin and Jonathan Irish are producing Haunted Mansion, and Nick Reynolds is executive producing. The script is by Kate Dippold, and Justin Seaman will be directing. The film stars Lakeith Stanfield, Tiffany Haddish, Danny DeVito, Rosario Dawson, and Owen Wilson. Greetings, I am Got Gamib of Galactic Starcruiser News Today. Here now, the top stories related to the Halcyon. Disney has released a full list of characters that guests can meet aboard the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser, which launches its first public cruise tomorrow, March 1st. Of course, I will be there to review it. Guests will be able to interact one-on-one with many of these characters as the story unfolds. You can read about each of them over on our website. Among the many new characters introduced on the Galactic Starcruiser is the droid D309. D309 does not appear in person like most of the other characters, but is accessible on video screens throughout the Halcyon. In fact, the artificially intelligent D309 is accessible in every guest cabin to speak to. According to comicbook.com, D3 will evolve as she, quote, listens, remembers, responds, offers advice, and becomes part of the experience and story alongside the guest. Dawson Dill, senior R&D Walt Disney Imagineer and creative lead for D309, told Comic Book, quote, the goal was for this to be a character that you get to know, that changes based on how you interact with her, but also she's along for the ride as well. So as the events on the Halcyon Starcruiser unfold, those events affect her, and how they affect her are made up with the decisions that the guest makes. So from a development perspective, I think it was a fun challenge to bring D309 to life because it was a technology piece. It's using speech recognition, natural language, understanding, a whole bunch of fancy conversational design technology that we've been developing. But then you have a narrative component because at the core, it's about a character, he said. At the end of the day, you want to go in there and talk to a character and have that character shift and change. And also for us, the interaction is just as important as the words. So are you betraying D309? Are you trying to get D309 to become your friend? Are you helping her to trick the First Order? Or are you helping the First Order to trick her? There's a lot of different ways we wanted to be able to play it and make sure that D309 felt like just another member of the crew. She acts as a test for new AI technology that Walt Disney Imagineering may use in the future. Quote, I think Imagineering traditionally and ever and forever has always been looking at cool new ways to elevate things, Dill said. I think we see an opportunity with some of the technology to make more personalized connections and have ones that are more also connected to an evolving story. So as you see, more and more immersive storytelling like Galactic Starcruiser, having characters that take different forms and want to engage in those same persistent ways, you're going to need a platform like this. At the Imagineering R&D group, we've been working on this platform, and D309 is definitely the limited play test to really put this out there for the first time. But the hope is that this is a platform that we think can bring a lot of different Disney characters to life in different ways, on different mediums and different platforms. It's been a long road to get here. We've been looking at a lot of this for a while, but this sort of thing is the first big stepping stone that we've put out in the water. Speaking of it being sort of a play test, they have come out and said that because it is in fact a play test, it may not be available on every single cruise. D3 is not only a test for things to come, but also still being play tested herself. Disney states, quote, "At this time, D309 will only be available for a limited test period. As D3 is tweaked, it's possible she will be completely unavailable for some time or available in a limited capacity." D309 does not appear in person, again, like most of the ship's characters. So it's also not marketed in any way. So this was kind of just sort of a bonus thing. I do really hope they figure this out and this remains on board, because I think this was, of everything I've seen so far, the most pleasant surprise. And honestly, as we get ready to board, the thing I was most excited to play around with on the whole ship. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get to play test it a bit. Looking forward to it. If not, hopefully it comes back down the road. One of the most impressive elements of the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser experience is the walk-around Ouanni character, a fully articulated Rodian, the same species as Greedo. A video of Ouanni was shared by Twitter user SkyTalkers. Walt Disney Imagineers developed multiple walk-around droids and aliens for Galaxy's Edge. Of course, ultimately they weren't used in the land, but this is sort of the realization of that dream. Obviously, aboard the ship, we have not only this incredible articulated alien, there are a couple of droids. So in limited capacity, for this amount of money, you do finally get to see some of what was intended for Galaxy's Edge that Bob Chapek and park management did not want to pay for in the end. So it is a sad story that it never ended up in the land. It is nice to see that the hard work of Imagineering is finally being shown to people. That's a very nice thing. One of the extra add-ons that guests can pay for aboard the Starcruiser is the CSL Portrait Experience. CSL, of course, stands for Chandrila Starline, which is the company that operates the Halcyon. Quote, "Capture your group's Star Wars galaxy looks at unique places around the ship for a truly personalized photo experience. Our Disney PhotoPass photographers will make sure your group looks their galactic best and will take you to select locations with special clearance from the crew. Your 30-minute session includes consultation, image capture, review by specially trained cast members using advanced digital photography equipment and lighting, and downloads of all images taken during the session. Images must be downloaded through disneyworld.com/photopass or via the My Disney Experience mobile app. Online registration is required. Images will expire pursuant to the expiration policy and are subject to the Disney PhotoPass service terms and conditions." There's plenty to be made from the plethora of details we've learned about the Starcruiser, which sets off on its maiden voyage tomorrow. But one surprising detail we've learned, guests interacting with any of the 15 characters aboard the Halcyon are not physically distanced at all, a stark contrast to the character experiences inside the theme parks currently. With Walt Disney World rescinding its face covering policy around a week and a half ago, guests aboard the Halcyon nor the actors aboard need to wear face coverings if they are fully vaccinated, and many official photos and videos as well as previews from the media event show characters aboard the Starcruiser closely interacting with guests aboard the ship, everyone without masks. How about that? Meanwhile, of course, at the parks, character greetings are still held at a distance away from guests, generally behind a rope or some sort of barrier. So it is interesting that they have launched the Starcruiser without any of these inhibitions, and then we will have to see how far behind are the theme parks in this sense. When and if will that take place? The Chandrila collection, the onboard shop of the Starcruiser, will reportedly have a measly 2 per cabin limit on items like droids and exclusive lightsabers. Signs found in videos of the Chandrila collection posted by media preview attendees revealed the 2 per cabin merchandise limit on some of the items, such as the Halcyon exclusive Legacy lightsaber and the droids, among other items. The limit stands no matter how many guests are staying in your cabin, meaning a cabin of 4 could still only purchase 2 of a certain item during their voyage. This becomes especially ridiculous considering there is a captain's cabin where you can sleep double or more than that. So we'll see how this changes and evolves. I assume some guests will complain. So maybe everyone in the party wants a lightsaber, right? Like, I know you're trying to stop resellers, but at the same time, people have paid a lot of money to be here, and if they want to take home a souvenir, they probably should be able to. Last week, though, as we mentioned, Disney invited influencers and media for that preview of the Starcruiser. The new resort hasn't officially opened yet. Obviously, again, tomorrow it does. But exclusive merchandise from the resort is already being resold on eBay. Yes, there are a number of pre-orders on eBay, but there are also some that are not. There are listings clearly with the merchandise photoed either on the bed or somewhere in the guest cabin, which raises the question, are influencers, or have influencers who were already given a free cruise on the Galactic Starcruiser, then gone and resold merchandise at a profit, which is, of course, a huge ethical dilemma. Of course, some people are arguing this, that it couldn't have been from that cruise, maybe it was from the one after, or who knows. But it was awfully close to that one. There is some evidence in the photography that's been taken down. We won't get into all of that, but nonetheless, it does seem like maybe you shouldn't have let it. What's funny is media could not buy stuff. So if you were designated as media, you were not allowed to shop. But if you were designated as an influencer, so if you were a famous TikToker or Instagrammer, then you were allowed to buy things, because that makes sense. Basically admitting there's no ethics involved in people who are on TikTok and Instagram versus real media. It's a really interesting situation. I think it's fascinating, and I would love to see what Disney's going to do about it in the future, because the backlash over it has been very, very interesting. Anyway, for the absolute latest Disney Parks news or Galactic Starcruiser news, head on over to WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, The Vacationeer, the engineers of your next magical vacation. Sit back and let their team of vacation planning experts craft your family's next trip. The best part, their services are free. Visit WDWNT.travel for details. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video, subscribe to WDW News Today on YouTube for more great content, and click the bell for notifications. Also, hit select all notifications so you never miss an episode of the show. You can also support the entire team behind the show and our intergalactic journeys by supporting the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Very quickly, this is the last show I'll be on before we go aboard the Galactic Starcruiser. I want to tell you all, please hang in there. There will be a lot of content. You will be getting a lot of notifications. If you follow us on social media, you will be seeing a lot of stories. We are going to give you every bit of content you could possibly want. Please let us know in the comments below what you're most interested in seeing. That'll certainly help direct us in what to upload first, what to make public first, or maybe things we haven't even thought of that we should be covering while we're on the Starcruiser. So please let us know in those comments. And we look forward to bringing you all this fun content over the next several days. We're on the first cruise, the March 1st to the 3rd. We're also on the second cruise from March 3rd to the 5th. So there will be tons of videos. I'll probably live stream at some point, at least during the second cruise. There'll be a lot of fun stuff, so stay tuned over the next several days. And please be kind to Eric Morton, who will be filling in for me on News Today. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying, enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. May the Force be with you.
From WDWNT, the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Park Center. Join us each week for news and discussion topics from the Disney and Universal theme parks around the world. We cover the top stories in a quick, concise, and fun format. Then our panel breaks down and debates some of the biggest issues and what they mean for us, the parks fans. From the latest announcements to openings and delays to scandals and snacks and merchandise and more, we cover it all in 90 minutes. Join us live every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/WDWNT, or watch episodes on demand anytime. Or subscribe to the audio version of the show on your favorite podcast app.